Losing a child is a parent's worst nightmare. But what if you spent a decade chasing that child across continents, only to become a secret agent in the process? Stolen Girl, starring Kate Beckinsale and Scott Eastwood, attempts to blend the raw emotion of a mother's quest with the adrenaline of an action thriller. But here's where it gets controversial. Does it honor the real-life struggles it claims to portray, or does it exploit them for cinematic spectacle? Let's dive in. The film follows Mara Beckinsale, a woman from rural Ohio, whose life unravels when her 4-year-old daughter Amina is kidnapped by her ex-husband Karim, Arvin Kananian, and spirited away to Syria. Over the next decade, Mara's journey transforms from a grieving mother to a rogue operative, working with Mitchell Roberson Eastwood, a shadowy figure who leads a covert team rescuing abducted children. While the premise is undeniably gripping, after all, who wouldn't want to see justice served for stolen innocence? The execution stumbles under the weight of genre fatigue. Think of Taken meets Sound of Freedom, but with a side of plot holes and awkward tonal shifts. The first act is a heart-wrenching portrait of a mother's desperation. Mara's tearful calls to hospitals, her protests in Washington, D.C., and her relentless pursuit of legal reforms. But then, like a switch being flipped, the story pivots into a globe-trotting action flick. Suddenly, Mara is dodging bullets in Lebanon, swapping wigs in Albania, and clashing with henchmen in Mexico. The handheld camera work feels like a carbon copy of Bourne-era chaos, but the fight scenes lack the punch of a blockbuster. And this is the part most people miss. While the action sequences are flashy, they overshadow the core emotional stakes. Mara's search for Amina becomes secondary to her new identity as a vigilante, which feels less like a character arc and more like a studio's desperate attempt to market the film as a popcorn thriller. Kate Beckinsale, known for her roles in Underworld and Total Recall, has built a career straddling action and drama. But Stolen Girl tests that balance. The script gives her moments to shine with nuanced emotion, yet drags her into over-the-top stunts that dilute her performance. Scott Eastwood, channeling his father's rugged charm, plays Roberson with a brooding intensity. But his character's dialogue often sounds like it was dubbed by a GPS voice. The film's final act tries to shock audiences with a twist about Mara and Amina's fate, but by that point, the momentum has already fizzled into confusion. Directed by James Kent, Testament of Youth, Stolen Girl was filmed entirely in Italy, with locations digitally repurposed to represent the Middle East, Europe, and beyond. While the cinematography adds a glossy veneer, it can't mask the script's shortcomings. Writers Cass Graham and Rebecca Pollock weave together real-world issues like international child abduction and government conspiracies. But their approach feels more like a checklist than a heartfelt narrative. The result? A film that says it's based on true events, but reads like a soap opera with a body count. And this is the question we must ask. Can a movie about such a sensitive topic afford to prioritize entertainment over empathy? Stolen Girl argues that it can. But at what cost? The film's final message, urging viewers to support anti-kidnapping legislation, feels hollow when buried under so many clichés. It's a missed opportunity to educate and inspire, instead opting for a formulaic structure that borrows heavily from better films. Yet, even with its flaws, the subject matter deserves attention. The real tragedy isn't Mara's fictional struggle, but the countless real families who face similar horrors without Hollywood's spotlight. So, is Stolen Girl a worthwhile watch? If you're looking for a gripping, emotionally intelligent thriller, you'll likely leave disappointed. But if you want to spark a debate about how we tell stories about real-world trauma, it's a flawed yet fascinating case study. Tell us in the comments, does the film's entertaining approach help or hinder its message? Can art ever truly do justice to the pain it seeks to portray? We'd love to hear your take. Stolen Girl hits theaters and digital platforms on September 26th. Whether it's a cinematic triumph or a cautionary tale, one thing's certain: the conversation it starts matters far more than the movie itself.